Remember the way the early episodes of Revice were structured? Yep, it's back to basics, which means no bits, no clicks, and time for generic thumbnail posing for me. That's it. I think that's the one. We pop things off with Ikki going to his high school reunion. Only 4 years after graduation? That can't be normal. When was my high school reunion? I missed it? Fuck y'all anyway. While chilling with his homies, like Genta and Busan, the episode quickly becomes a double-handed self-wank-off, as we are introduced to Kimura Subaru, who plays himself, as well as Vice. And we don't stop hearing about this man for like half the episode. It's almost as if there's some egoism going on. I see what y'all did there, writers. I see that. While the introductions are happening, we get introduced to one of Ikki's friends, Koji, who went by Jiko, who, like everyone seems to be in this episode, is trying to be a voice actor. This surprises Ikki as he recounts Jiko trying to pursue soccer. However, that statement triggers the silence only a Will Smith slap will induce. Side note, I like how they remember this plot point from earlier on in the series, as it was mentioned previously that Ikki was pretty much a soccer prodigy, but gave up his goal to go pro in order to help his family out in running the Happy Spa, which will likely get some proper fleshing out in this plot point. Maybe. So Jiko is taken aback by Ikki's statement, as if he's one to talk, and storms out. Ikki, however, has no recollection of what would be so triggering about that statement. We go back to the Monster of the Week's formula, with Sentai levels of villain scheming, as the director of Phoenix, I'll remember his name someday, gets a new Vice stamp from glorious Gifu-sama. Also, we get a cameo from not Vice. What's the opposite of Vice?
Tegridy.
Nope. I'm not gonna call this man Tegridy. Back to the real world, and more self-wanking leads us to two more voice actors who you know as Shorompo from Q Ranger and Ryutaros from Den-O. They host a toku radio show in real life, but also within the context of this show, and interview Ikki and Vice while asking the tough questions. After getting some autographs, Ikki runs into Jiko once again, who is still put off by Ikki's forgetfulness. That's when the show gets gassed up by a souped up Phase 1 dead man, which makes Ikki go back to basics. So after a nostalgia trip of classic remixes and getting Dutch ovened for about 5 minutes straight, Ikki gets blown into a fart-induced hallucination, just ready to pop off. We get a saucy camera angle on Sakura as she is now part of Weekend, and with it, rocks a short shorts and a trash bag for a jacket. The drip left with the other folks in the Weekend. So Sakura just got the scraps. That's what I'm feeling. Karazaki Sr. drops the T on Akaishi. I said his name for the first time in a review. Don't get used to it. Whom, of which has not aged a day since the Veil special was filmed like 3 weeks ago. Sakura gets in her feels for a second as Aguilera drops her signature look for edgy black leather and still a poofy skirt. She went from quinceañera to rock girl like that. We just gotta do something with that hair. It's not working for me. I think if there's someone to talk about hair with, it would be this guy. Back at the Happy Spa, they remembered that they hired Tamaki like 5 episodes ago, and they remembered that they also changed his look as well. Ikki tries to remember what he did to Jiko, but just can't recall. He stole a winning shot from him, didn't he? Didn't he? Master of egoism right there. Calling it. Calling it. Ikki stole the winning shot in that game. It's a trope. It's a trope. DAIJI'S also in this episode. Still getting stepmommed by scientist lady. I already forgot her name too. Acknowledging that DAIJI is just trying to grow up too fast. Look, you gotta work hard to fill those Hiromi shoes. Dude had character development at least up to the big toe. You're still pinky toe, my guy. I swear, I am not into feet. Ignore this thumbnail. The next fight happens inside Ikki's head, as well as all over Tamaki's face. We end the episode in a fake out of Subaru being the antagonist in all that's going on. But he's not, it's a fake out. It's a fake out. So they've taken a step back and returned to how the show was structured prior to all the big plot revelations. Gifu is just holding off, only generating new Vice stamps and deadmens for the director to lay out. And we start fleshing out the characters that felt like background characters in their own stories. Ikki. With that being said, I did enjoy going back to basics with this episode, as now we can start getting the character development necessary for our heroes. We get these 2 episodes that are focused on Ikki now, and probably 2 focused on DAIJI after, and then Sakura and finally George before stepping into the final showdowns. Or at least that's the vibe that I'm getting from this. This episode is getting a solid B. Although some of the plot points introduced previously have yet to be addressed, we do get the appearance of Tegridy, aka Red Knot Vice, which proves to us that he, maybe, wasn't responsible for Genta's parents' death. There are, of course, a lot of callbacks to previous episodes. The second monster was the Saber Tiger Deadman, who was already defeated, and was the lawyer that Ikki took down early into the show, and one of Gifu's gift exes. There's also posters on the wall for the comedy duo from the Jacked Revice arc. And like I said before, it remembered Ikki's soccer life. So with that, the structure is going back to the 2-parter style, which means that the conflict resolution won't happen until next episode. So, how are you liking the return to form and the classic structure of the show going in? The new fits for Sakura and Aguilera, what are your thoughts on those? Will Tamaki ever go an episode without crying? Also, fart jokes in my Kamen Rider? That's it for me. I gotta go yell out a window at someone that is doing their lawn for all fucking day. Until next time. Oh, now you stop. Bye.